They've been here longer than our civilization. The agreements were made in the 1950s. We didn't invite them. We negotiated. Pentagon confirms UFO videos are real. Congress holds first UAP hearing in 50 years. Whistleblowerous. Has non-human craft. What if the question was never whether they exist, but how long we have been kept from knowing? They are already here. In 1989, a soft-spoken physicist stepped forward with a claim so extraordinary, it should have destroyed his credibility permanently. Instead, 30 years later, the US government accidentally confirmed part of his story. I was hired to work at a facility called S4, not Area 51 south of it. The briefing documents told me we had recovered 9 extraterrestrial craft. My job was to figure out how the propulsion system worked. I was not supposed to ask questions about where they came from. I did anyway. For years, the US government denied Bob Lazar ever worked for them. Then, in 2019, a Freedom of Information Act request uncovered a document confirming that the company Lazar said contracted him EG&G special projects did exist and did hold classified government contracts at the Nevada test site. The craft I worked on, we called it the Sport model. Disc-shaped, about 15 meters wide. The interior was small. The seats were small. Everything was built for someone shorter. Someone with a different center of gravity. I sat in one of the seats. It was deeply uncomfortable. It was not made for a human being. Lazar described the propulsion system as operating on an element that did not exist on the periodic table. Element 115, he called it moscovium. Scientists laughed. Until 2003, when Russian and American researchers at a joint facility synthesized element 115 for the first time in history. It was named moscovium, officially. The properties Lazar described for element 115 the way. He said it bent gravity that is not something a person fabricates in 1989. The physics community didn't even have the theoretical framework for that conversation yet. Either he's the luckiest guesser in history, or he saw something. Bob Lazar was a private contractor with classified clearance. Easy for governments to dismiss. But what happens when the man making the claim ran a country's entire military apparatus? UFOs are as real as the airplanes flying over your head. I know this because I was briefed by senior intelligence officials from the United States while I was serving as defense minister. There are at least 4 species that have been visiting Earth for thousands of years. They are not all the same. They do not all have the same agenda. Hellyer identified what he said were the primary species, known to Western intelligence. His descriptions, remarkably, matched independent testimonies from people who had never met him, gathered across decades, across continents. They were not hostile. They were cautious, like a wild animal that could kill you if it wanted to but had decided not to. They had a base in the Nevada desert. The military knew. We were told not to approach them unless they approached first. The briefing documents said they had been coming here for 10,000 years. They viewed humans the way we might view a wildlife preserve. We were something to be observed, occasionally sampled. They weren't malevolent. They just didn't see us as equals. The ones who look like us, they walk among us. They are not here to conquer. They are here because we are destroying a planet. They consider part of a larger system they depend on. Our nuclear weapons tests sent shockwaves through space that alarmed them. They came to warn us. That's the category that doesn't get discussed. Not because it's the least credible, because it's the most inconvenient. By 2001, US government had spent decades calling UFO witnesses liars, cranks, and attention seekers. Then 2 things happened that made that position untenable. An astronaut who walked on the moon went on record, and the US Navy released verified footage of something no human technology could explain. I happen to have been privileged enough to be in on the fact that we've been visited on this planet. The UFO phenomenon is real. It has been covered up by governments for 60 years. I've been briefed by people in intelligence, senior people. The Roswell crash was real. We were not alone then. We are not alone now. Edgar Mitchell, MIT-trained engineer, Navy captain, the 6th human being, to walk on the surface of the moon, made these statements not once but repeatedly for the last decade of his life. NASA distanced itself. The Pentagon had no comment. Mitchell did not waver. The object I encountered on November 14, 2004 had no wings, no exhaust, no visible propulsion of any kind. It accelerated from a hover to supersonic speed instantaneously. It didn't fly away. It vanished. In my 18 years of flying, I have never seen anything that comes close to the performance characteristics of that craft. It was not ours. It was not any nation on Earth's. I am certain of that. The Tic Tac incident, named for the craft's shape, was recorded on Flyer targeting cameras by two FA-18 Super Hornets. The footage was officially released by the Pentagon in 2020. No explanation has ever been offered. We calculated the acceleration from the video data. The G-forces involved would be somewhere between 200 and 5,000 Gs. Humans black out at 9 Gs. Whatever is inside that vehicle, if anything is inside that vehicle, it does not experience inertia the way we do, or it is unmanned. Either answer is extraordinary. Perhaps the most explosive and most difficult to verify. Claim is this, that the relationship between certain extraterrestrial species and the US government is not accidental, that it was negotiated, deliberately, at the highest level. Multiple sources, including a former member of President Eisenhower's staff, have stated that in February 1954, Eisenhower was taken to Edwards Air Force Base, officially for a dental appointment. The appointment was fabricated. What actually happened was a meeting with beings who were not from this planet. A treaty was discussed. Technology in exchange for access. In 2023, former US intelligence officer David Grusch testified before Congress under oath that the US government has been in possession of non-human biologics. His words recovered from crash sites. I was informed, in the course of my official duties, of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program. I made a protected disclosure to Congress. I am alleging that there is an absolutely real, non-human intelligence and associated material that the US government and defense contractors have recovered, and that this has been concealed from Congress and the American public. He was not laughed out of the room. He was not arrested. He was listened to, because for the first time, the machinery of official Washington could not pretend. The question had a simple answer. Bob Lazar lives quietly in Michigan. The government has never officially acknowledged him. His story has never officially been denied. Element 115 exists. The facility he described has been photographed from satellites. His employer has been confirmed. Paul Hellyer died in 2021. His final public statement on the subject, the reality will come out. The question is whether humanity will be ready for it. Edgar Mitchell died in 2016, 1 week before the 45th anniversary of his moon landing. He never stopped talking about what he knew. David Grusch is still alive, still protected legally by whistleblower statutes. The US government's official response to his congressional testimony, no comment. They say the truth is out there. But if the people who have seen the classified files are telling the truth is not out there at all. It is here. It has always been here. And somewhere in a building that does not officially exist, behind a classification level that has no name, someone knows exactly what that means. They say the truth is out there. But if the people who have seen the classified files are telling the truth is not out there at all. It is here. It has always been here. And somewhere in a building that does not officially exist, behind a classification level that has no name, someone knows exactly what that means. Join us at World Mystery Files, where we uncover the mysteries of the world together. The truth is waiting.